Hello friends, today I am going to discuss with you one more question asked in an interview. This time this question was asked in an interview of a company called Delhivery. Now Delhivery is a logistic company and the interview was of a technical domain. A student of mine appeared in the interview. I would not call the student very good in communication, but he is not so good. He is average, but he is a very diligent person. He is hard worker and he completes his homework before going for interview or before going for anything. He asked me few questions of HR because he knows that HR questions are his weak points and he would not be able to answer the questions properly. So he asked me few HR questions asked in Delhivery. I am going to discuss one of the questions. It is a very relevant question. The question is, what kind of a person you are? Tell me about your personality. Now, this is a typical question. Why it is a typical question? Because if you do not have that kind of a background, you would never be able to tell what kind of a personality, what type of personality you have, or what kind of a person you are. Now, you can, of course, make your own answer for what kind of a person you are, but as far as personality is concerned, it would be difficult because then you have to have knowledge of psychology or sociology or anthropology or some subject like that. So he asked me this question and we discussed an answer. I told him that you have to be very simple and you have to understand five things. The first is open type personality. The second is extrovert type personality. The third is conscientious type personality. The fourth is agreeable type personality. And the fifth is neurotic type personality. Then I told him that open type personality people, they are open to experiences. They have high imagination. They are energetic. They are adventurous. And for them, variety is the spice of life. And not so open people or people with low openness as a personality they try to remain in themselves and they do not mix up well with people, but they have a good eye for facts and figures and they do not change things constantly. Secondly, extrovert people. Now, extrovert and introvert, these two words are very important and they are used a lot of times. So extrovert people, they are very charged all the time. They draw energy from crowd. They mix up with crowd. They have that leadership ability. They are go-getters. They always try to remain on top. And they freely express their opinion. Whereas introvert people are not shy, but introvert people are people who keep things with themselves. They do a lot of introspection. They are reflective. They are contemplative. And they do not mix with a lot of people, but of course they mix with small groups. They have small group. They are not very sociable kind of people. Now we have the third one is we have conscientious people. Now conscientious people are people who are very disciplined, very dependable, and very organized. Not so conscientious people are not very organized, and though they are dependable, but they are not very organized. They have a chaotic kind of a life. Now, the fourth one is agreeable. Now, agreeable people have warmth, have compassion, have empathy, sympathy with them, whereas not so agreeable people or not agreeable type people, low in agreeableness people, they are more of, they have more cold and suspicion in them. And it is found that people who are more cold and suspicious, they do better than other people in the office. And the last is neurotic people. Now neurotic people are people who get stress in very small, with very small things. Means something will happen, a very small thing will happen, and they will be stressed. So people who come under stress because of small things are neurotic people. So I told him that if you see all these 5 personality types, you will find that you have some of the some of the bits of every personality types in you. So you can make up your answer. Then I went on to discuss with him another point, and that point was very critical. For that, in order for you to understand that point, I am attaching some photographs with it, with this video, so that you can find out what kind of a person you are. Once you know what kind of a person you are, then you would be able to answer. Now, coming to the answer. After the interview, he called me up and said, I am selected. And I asked him what are the questions asked. And he said, the $1,000,000 question was, what kind of a person you are and what is your personality? And the answer he gave was that recently I read in an interview, I read in a newspaper article, types of personality in which 5 types were mentioned. I went through all the 5 types: openness, extrovert, conscientious, agreeable, and neurotic. And I found that I have a bit of all of them. So it was very difficult for me to find out what type of personality I have. So ultimately I decided that I am a mixture of all the personalities. Then the interviewer took interest and started talking about all the other things. So the interview talked about openness, extrovert, introvert, not so openness, conscientious people, agreeable people, not so agreeable people, neurotic people. And the interview went very well. And the interviewer was very impressed by this answer and he gave him a thumbs up. So he cracked the exam. He cracked the interview. So what I'm going to do is I am going to give you few photographs, and on the basis of that few photographs you can find your personality traits, you can create your own answer, and then you can give the answer to the interviewer. If you have any questions, you can type in the comment box. Now I am going to attach the photographs.
In these pictures you will find out cues for personality traits and types, and you can create your own personality and traits, and then you can create your own answer.
The first 2 photographs will give you an idea of the types of personality. So E stands for extroversion, I stands for introversion, S stands for sensing, N stands for intuition, T stands for thinking, F stands for feeling, J stands for judging, and P stands for perceiving. Combination of these will prepare 16 personality types. So it means one personality type will have a combination of either of the 4. So say for example, for me, I am INFJ type personality. So now INFJ is introvert, intuition, feeling, and judging. Now these people are idealist. They organize, they have insight, they are dependable, they try to live in harmony. So depending upon your choice and depending upon your own thing, your own answer, you can choose any one of them, and then you can go for the answer. Say for example, the interviewer asks you what kind of a personality do you have. You say I have INFJ personality. Now the interviewer will definitely going to ask you what is INFJ personality. Then you say that recently in an article I read that there are 16 types of personality, and going through all the 16 type, I found that I am INFJ type personality. I stands for introversion, N stands for intuition, F stands for feeling, and J stands for judging. And you can then go on telling, but you have to make it sure that you go through this photograph these things properly, and then you make up your own answer, because only then you will be able to. So you have to do some hard work in order to get your answer right. Okay, thank you.